No, we're not.
We are live.
Hey, we're live and direct from the Nightlife Entrepreneur Podcast. Yes, here live and direct.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
let me get the beer. Oh, the beer is here. Wow.
The beer is here.
This is the
Beers.
place to be, Chop House.
There you go.
Here in Doral. This is
wanna
amazing. The service
cover
is
your face.
incredible. They were
Thank you, sir.
a part of the Doral Food and Wine Festival, and we're glad that they're hosting us today, the Nightlife Entrepreneur Podcast, and we have our special guest, Mr. Freddy Melero.
Melero.
Melero and
Hey,
my boy
you always forget, man.
JM. What?
Did we start?
Our handles.
Handles.
Our handles.
Did
We
we
gotta start with the handle. Oh, we've been live like since
yeah?
for
10
the
minutes
past 10
ago,
minutes.
man.
Seriously?
So yeah, and you've been
we
great.
do.
You've been great for the past 10 minutes.
Cheers. I
can
Haven't
tell.
said shit.
Cheers, Nightlife Entrepreneur
Salud.
episode
Cheers.
55.
No,
Episode fired up.
Episode 21. Episode 21.
Episode 21.
And again, you can find us at The Nightlife Entrepreneur on Instagram and Ico Taps Beer. Also, the Raw
Yep.
Food and Wine.
Raw Food and Wine Festival. Hey, tickets are on sale right now. Pre-ticket sale. Go and get your tickets right now. I'm telling you, they're $55. They're gonna go up, and then you're gonna call me, text me, oh, Ico, what happened? I'm gonna say, man, talk to Julio. Talk to
one
Julio.
hot
man.
event. One hot event.
And LMG Miami, where you can find all our parties.
Right.
So, hey, what about you?
At freddymelero.com.
At freddymelero.com.
At freddymelero.com. Party people right there.
I thought you were going to say something like fired up. At fired up. You should have that as your handle.
Should.
You know what I mean?
I think
He's
it's taken
fired
from
up
a
all
movie
the
called
time.
Fired Up.
Oh, it is?
Movie called-
There is?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I
Learn
So-
something new every day. All right, guys.
Today
So
we have an interesting episode. We're going to be talking about old school promotions.
pretty much,
Then
pretty
to
much,
now, right?
pretty much.
Oh,
Actually,
we'll get into
yeah.
pretty interesting stuff.
We'll get into that for
Tinkles.
sure. Freddie actually started doing this before I started doing this, which is a long time. As you can see, if you're watching us
you were
on
his
video.
apprentice?
I mean, I was definitely.
He observed.
I've observed from afar.
what's
You
up.
could say so. But definitely one of the guys that I looked up to when I started doing this. One of the few that were actually doing it for a long time, doing good things.
Cool.
And yeah, we
Fired up
basically we
style.
kind of shadowed a little bit of what he did to his niche and clientele towards us. You know what I mean? To ours, which was more of a upscale Latin crowd or whatnot. Now,
Where was that area? Like, where were you promoting and doing your thing? Was it South Beach
Or
or?
Miami, South Beach.
Yeah, he was a beach boy.
Gables.
Oh, you were a beach boy?
Yeah. South Beach, Gables mostly.
Fun.
No, Gables, Coconut Grove, sorry.
You know what I love? Like, I'm not from Miami, right? So I moved out here in 2001. You guys
From?
were here already from New York.
Okay.
You guys were already here. You must really love to see how Miami has evolved, right? And as promoters, like what you just said a few minutes ago, like, well, it's gotten a little tougher. We went from 10 venues to now 1,000 venues that we have to compete with. How does it feel? How does it feel, you being a beach boy, seeing how Wynwood, Midtown, Brickell, everything that...
It's crazy. I mean, first you're like, where do I go? There's so many options, but it's beautiful. It's good to see progress in anything in life, right? I mean, you want to see, if you have kids, you want to see them advance. If you see, whatever it is that you're around or it means anything to you, you want to see it progress. And Miami has definitely exploded. I mean, just downtown alone has 150 more buildings than weren't there maybe 5-10 years ago.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And but yeah, the nightlife has definitely exploded. I mean, you take an area like Wynwood that literally did not exist before, and now there's more, I'd say, bars/clubs in that area than probably all Miami had before. Not to mention the other 8 different areas that have a bunch of entertainment right now.
Right.
So it's.
Hey, by the way, you said the word progress, and one of the things that I want to get into today is your progress. Somebody who started as a nightclub promoter, which sometimes I guess some people see that as starting down here.
No, man, you start fun.
It is fun, definitely. But depending, a lot of people look at it and they go, yeah, nightclub promoter, whatever.
Well, back then, I think, right?
Back then it was a huge thing. We'll get into that for sure.
Yeah.
It's a little different from now what we see today. But now to somebody who's doing multiple figure income in a different area, which is network marketing.
Yep.
And I want to get also into how you transition from one to the other and what things helped or you could actually transfer from your experience.
Yeah.
In
What
the
skills are
nightlife.
you using from back then that now you feel
Right, like the dancing.
that they're influencing? Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean,
Yo, production, stop eating, people.
for those that don't know me, I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida, Cuban parents, which is a lot of
Nice.
a lot of that here in Miami. And out of high school, I didn't know what I was going to do. Went into college, just like your parents want you to go. And just like everybody that goes to college, most people, that's the time you start partying, you start going to nightclubs. And I was going with my
That's
friends to
when you
different
became
places.
young.
I was going with my friends to different places in Key Biscayne, GB Reefs. We had Sundays on the Bay. We had all these different places. And at the time, I found out that the guy that we were going to most of the parties was the promoter. And I didn't even know what a promoter was. But I found out that he had, at that time, an NSX paid for cash and was doing extremely well.
You were like, what?
This was in the early 90s, 91,
Why am I going to
92.
college, right?
Right.
And long story short, when you're in that club scene, I mean, anybody that's been in the club scene, I mean, when you start going out, when you go out with your friends, when you want to, start hooking up with girls and stuff like that, I think that, being in that scene and being important in that scene is worth more than getting paid. I think because, number one, you don't have to wait in line. Number two, when you're on the other side and you have some influence over who can come in and when they can come in, you're popular, you
Right.
got some extra points. And so I basically met this gentleman that was doing that, the club at that
You
time.
can say names here, by the way.
Raymond
There you go.
Fernandez.
Shout out
to Raymond.
Yeah.
Fernandez.
I remember.
Yeah, Raymond.
I was in Miami-Dade at the time. I went Miami-Dade FIU, and I remember like yesterday. I just told him, "Hey, man, I'll help you pass out flyers." And little by little, I was doing it in Miami-Dade and FIU, everywhere there was partying. Started working with him inside the club, and got to know people, got to know how it all flowed and stuff like that. And within a year and a half, I decided to do stuff on my own. I was telling Julio, I didn't know if he knew that story, but when I got started, my first club was a club called Boomerang, which later became Groove Jet, and now it's
Yes.
Mokai or
Mokai, yeah.
Oh, wow.
On the beach.
Yeah. And at the time, most of the clubs were South Beach, between First, which was Penrod's. Amnesia wasn't there yet.
No, over there.
Amnesia wasn't built yet. Egoist.
Wasn't
on
that like a
4th or 5th.
Colombian restaurant at one point where
Penrod's?
Mokai is?
Yes.
No, around it, no?
Next to it. Yeah, on the same street.
Yeah, right?
La
Yeah.
Vaca something.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So my first club, I did it with a partner, and we were expecting like 500 some people, and they were being like 2 something. We barely broke even. And I was telling
So
Julio,
that's not good.
yeah, that was not good. But I was excited. I got it out of my system. Somehow you just wanted to get it out.
So you get a little idea. Nowadays, somebody who has a party of 250 people, it's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's so different. It's changed
Wow.
so much. That's
Yeah.
one of the things.
It depends if it's like a boutique place.
Yeah, but like most places is what I'm saying. Like if you're doing a new party nowadays, being able to move 250 people, it's because there's so much competition nowadays. It's super like
correct.
Yeah.
There's so many
Very,
options.
very
Yeah,
difficult,
yeah,
yeah.
So many
yeah.
options.
So many options. Okay.
So
So I'll never forget, and I was telling you, it's interesting, as you and in life, and I think a lot of the lessons that people learn from these podcasts of being a nightlife entrepreneur is persistence and having peaks and valleys and overcoming obstacles and moving in spite of whatever happens and stuff like that, which is
tough.
anything in life. I remember the manager at the time wasn't happy that I was doing a party because it wasn't South Beachy, at least not the South Beach crowd, which they were used to. And he told me, don't quit your daytime job. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but it stuck in my head because I knew he wasn't meaning well at the time. He was trying to jab at me. And I found out what it meant. It basically said you sucked. Don't depend on this because you're not going to do well.
Yeah.
And, as time went on, I started, expanding, getting better and attracting people.
What did he mean though by the party not being a beach party?
Well, I brought the college crowd, and
Okay.
the beach
All
crowd
right.
was more people that were
Spending more,
Yeah,
yeah.
probably. Yeah.
And the college.
that was back in the
crowd,
day, not anymore.
What kind of music was? And I'm just trying for the listeners to kind of get a more.
my
of an
time
idea of
was
the
whatever
music.
was popular at the time. Whatever dance music was popular at the time. It wasn't extreme house or anything like that. It was more,
Got it.
top 40, I'd say.
Got it.
With
Okay.
maybe we throw a Latin or two song,
Right.
a Latin song or
Okay.
two. So we catered to the Latinos that basically wanted English,
Got
didn't
it.
necessarily want to listen to the Spanish.
Exactly.
So you tell me that you run into this manager, like a couple of years later.
yeah, so I continued.
Wow, you did?
I persisted.
Nice.
I persisted, and we started doing Pacha, we started doing Amnesia, we started doing all these different
which
clubs
were
and did
big
really well.
names on the beach.
And did
at the
really
time.
well. Pacha was from Ibiza. There was one in New York.
Yeah.
Became Locomia afterwards or before.
But no, I think Locomia was on at the Seville.
Stay tuned.
Oh, that's what.
Further
there you
down. So long story short, I end up doing Prince buys a club, which used to be 1235s. And
Who buys
calls
the
it
club?
Prince, the
Oh,
singer.
wow.
The artist formerly known as Prince at the time. So it was just a symbol. And we started. At the time, I was pulling a lot of people, and I had a great core promoters and whatnot, and we ended up getting this club. They launched. They had a very strong gay night one night, and they couldn't get the straight crowd the other nights going. It's such a big facility that you're not going to get more than one night of the same crowd. And we were fortunate enough to get it, and we went to work. And
Nice.
Timing played into it because everything is timing, and we went to work, and we packed it in. And I'll never forget 2-3 weeks into it. I mean, we're pulling over 3,000 people coming in. I had a main door. We had a VIP door for those that didn't want to wait that line of 400 or 500 people.
Right.
What?
And back then, I used to shave my head. I've always been buffed. I was always tan. I was going to the beach all the time. And I remember I was wearing a Versace
I was gonna say you gotta mention
vest,
what you were wearing,
because I would always wear vests and jeans
Oh, yeah?
and boots. That was popular
so that
in the
people know
90s.
how old you are. There you go.
That was
There you
your-
go. I still have a picture
That
on.
was
I
your-
have pictures on social
So
media.
you were also a fashionista.
Somewhat. At least I thought I was. And you're South Beach, so you gotta
Yeah.
kind of fit in.
Yeah, of course.
And I'll never forget, we went across the street. If you know that area, it's on 12th and Washington. That became later Mansion and something
Yeah.
else.
Yep.
Across the street, people park along the thing. I was there with two of my guys, just observing everything and just like saying, "Wow, sometimes some of this stuff leaves you in awe because
Yeah, it's a great
marketing and
feeling when you
promotions,
see that.
you do the right things, but you wonder like, are people actually going to show up, right? And so you're seeing this and you're like capturing the moment because it's like wow, from
You're
where I've
enjoying the view. You're enjoying.
yeah, from where I've come, and it's not an ego thing. It's just like wow, like you're
And it's
grateful.
it's not even about the money either.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
You're taking it all in. There's a little.
So
mosquito.
as I'm doing that, I see this guy walking with his dog, and I see him and I go, Bob Cristaldi, that was his name.
Oh wow.
And he looks at me and he goes, yeah. I go, Freddy Melero, remember me? And he's like,
Not really.
No.
I go, remember Boomerang? And he's like, yeah, oh yeah, I remember you, oh my God. And we just start talking, whatever, and he goes, man, whatever's going on there, it's happening. Slammed. And I go, Bob, I didn't quit my daytime job. Oh my God.
That's so great that you remember.
I don't even know how I pulled it out, but it came out. And so I shared
Production wants to kill Ico right now.
I know. I'm
He's like
sorry, man,
clapping
but
on
there's
the
like
mic.
a little mosquito around my beard.
So I share that with you because
Oh my God, that story is great.
to me-
you must have felt so good, and you remembered. Like I didn't quit my day job. Yo.
yeah, and
Oh, it stuck to his.
to me,
head,
the biggest
sure.
message that's really helped me out in everything in life is that it doesn't matter where you come from. All that matters is where you're going. It
Yeah,
doesn't
of
matter what
course.
you've been through. It's what you decide to do in spite of it. And we all have seasons of life. That we wonder what's going to happen next.
Of course.
But if you stay the course, if you know where you're going and you keep going, you don't
Even
let
so
if the
far-
light's
so-
dimming,
so-
stay fired up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for all those
all attitude.
new promoters out there that have that one when they start, I'm telling you,
Persistence.
persistence, right? And
Huge.
and what do you think made you stay? Because that could have killed your vibe right there, right? That could have killed your dream.
And
That
it kills
guy
many,
just
I'm
say-
sure.
Right?
It kills many.
Tells you, hey,
Yep.
don't quit your day job. That could have made you just say, you know what? Yeah, maybe this is not.
Like Julio mentions, a lot of people quit. I had a lot of people that started, that were my competitors in the beginning or that worked with me and they quit. They just, they didn't see it. They just weren't for
But look
it.
at this. This guy goes from watching somebody else do the job to helping him out, passing out the flyers, to doing his own party and not doing well, which 250 people, I would never say it's not doing well. At the time, let's say that it wasn't
Yeah.
enough for somebody to do it on their own, maybe.
Yeah, when you're charging $5, and at that, I wasn't a good deal maker in the beginning, so I didn't have the whole door.
Right.
So you lose money.
Right, exactly.
Oh, wow.
So you end up losing money.
Don't
to
lose money.
to a couple of years later, having one of the biggest clubs in the city packed with 3,000 people. You know what I mean? That's
Wow. That's a great story.
Success story for sure. You know what I mean?
Success stories.
And
for
how
you
we
coming
started,
to
remember-
the Nightlife Entrepreneurs.
And how we started. I mean, we used to do our flyers at Kinko's, which is now FedEx. We used to go in the middle of the
Oh, yeah.
night to the one in UM and
I
make
did that.
flyers so the next day we can be in college passing out stuff. I mean, it used to be like, we're up all night basically.
Yeah, I did the whole Kinko's thing too at the beginning, man.
And then
As a
when
matter
things
of fact,
started flowing, we started doing full color flyers.
I think I met you. through the person that was doing our flyers when he went. What's it? Paul.
So
With
305
Paul,
flyers.
when we went onto the printed flyer for the first time and the design and all that.
Who was
thing.
the flyer company back then?
GTC was the most popular one.
GTC, yeah.
GTC.
That later was bought by Carlos and
Right.
now-
Then everybody started
Kendall.
doing flyers, right?
Yeah.
There was a
after
period,
that.
yeah.
But back then we're talking
We used
about
to pay for-
$500
for
for what?
for 5,000
For 5,000
and for
How much?
750 for 1,000 one-sided color
Yeah.
flyers.
Right.
But we also
Crazy.
asked for last. It was like we got the club that we need tonight.
Well,
We're not
and-
going home
and-
till we get it
And
tonight.
back then, the flyer also had the phone number of the company on the side. Remember all those things? It was so many different things
try
than today, man. But you know what happened back then? We actually did go out ourselves and hand out flyers. As a matter of fact,
and had a core, but we were out there
right
every night.
As a matter of fact, the guy you mentioned at the beginning,
Raymond.
Raymond. Bro, my hat's off to him.
He's the
I would see him
original-
on every fucking street.
Yeah.
You know, like seriously.
Every college,
doing
every
it himself, passing out flyers everywhere.
I've always
the
had great
turkey
work
that he came
ethic.
up with, for example, that
I've
was
always
everywhere.
I've always had great work ethic from my parents because I mean, like any family that comes from another country and with nothing, you just got to go to work, to be able to eat, to provide, and all that stuff. And so I always saw that, and I came with work ethic, but Raymond's work ethic was I mean impeccable. I mean it was inspiring and validating, and I just mimicked what he did. That's what I thought I had to do, but I saw it in action, and so like you said, I had a mentor that I could visually see. From nothing, when it was starting a new party, what that process looked like, and I was able to mimic that, add my flavor to it eventually. But I'm very grateful for that. Because, I mean,
Talking about flavors, what made you guys different as far as like a party? Was it something that you guys thought of? Hey, we're gonna start throwing this party. We're gonna do this different, or was it just like, hey, it's all college. Let's just.
I think the main difference between me and you guys were just the music,
Music,
Okay.
probably.
which obviously
You
the
were
music
all Latin.
draws different. Yeah,
It was
Right.
It
more.
was more Latin rock.
Yeah, which I always say it. You gotta pick your niche. You gotta be sure that you know exactly what it is that who you're catering
And
to.
you guys annihilated it.
Right. That's for us. It's been for the past 20-some years we've dominated that area. It's been, if it's not us, it's somebody that came from us. A new company that came out of us.
Yeah.
All our competition is really somebody who's worked with us at some point in time, friends or not friends. But and we have a good relationship with most. And as a matter of fact, now as we get elder, we start to reunite with some of the ones that we've separated along the way through different,
You've matured. You're
differences.
matured.
And it's
Mature,
interesting.
yeah.
I got out of the nightclub scene because when I got into network marketing, I've been traveling and speaking all over the United States,
You're
Europe,
a
and whatever.
speaker now.
Yeah, I speak too, but I mean, because I build massive sales teams, I got to speak to them too. So
Nice.
it kind of goes hand in hand. But
Were you always like this kind of energy, fired up and whatnot?
always, but I couldn't speak in front of a crowd. That took me
Okay.
a while.
And how long did you do the promoting?
Almost 10 years.
What made you like? Was it just one day you said?
I got married, and I figured nightclb and
Promoting,
marriage
I
were
got
not.
married. It was over.
Why is it that most people that sit here, when they say the word "I got married," they put their head down?
Yeah.
I got married. It just happens.
I guess burnout. I was out 7 days a
Yeah.
week. My schedule was in the morning. I go to the gym. I go to the South Beach. I go back to the gym and I party 7 days a week.
By the way, when I say I got married, I stretch.
And there you go.
Hey, so wow. 10
I wanted to have a
years, you know
family,
a
and,
lot.
and not that you can't have a family and still do that. I'm very extreme. I'm like an all-in guy, and I just couldn't see myself transition and be able to do both. And so I was looking for something where, number one, I could replace my income, which was very significant at the time, and then number two, I liked, right, and that I could excel in. And that's where I got introduced to network marketing. I mean, literally, a friend of mine that was one of my partners told me, "Hey, there's a guy in Louisville, Kentucky, making $1 million a month," and I was like, "Show me his picture." And I was looking. Network marketing for me made sense.
So already year like 9, year 10, you were already kind of like tired of this, and you started kind of looking for another avenue.
Even my strategies of my marketing of clubs and stuff was different because now I was getting hired by clubs to do their marketing in house versus me doing my own thing independent.
Right.
Got it.
Number two, I got into Latin, which was more.
Which is a good sign, by the way. When that happens, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
You're being hired by the clubs to help
course.
them.
Yeah, because they want somebody with
So do you want to Do you want to talk about that a little? Like
Yeah.
in the
Just
sense of like
to point it out. It is an opportunity out there that a lot of people don't take. But at the same time, it's not going to be offered to everybody. And one of the reasons is a lot of promoters have that image of I'm the promoter. I don't know if you remember the interview we had with with Red Rabbit, and he mentioned, I'm always going to be a promoter.
Shout out to Red Rabbit.
Yeah, but I'm not that guy that's going to be on top of the table with the vodka bottle and the models on the table. They went in a different direction. Now they own their own venues, and if you take this seriously, it works. You're going to grow in different directions. Marketing is one of them.
And that promoter, it's good when a promoter gets approached by a club and that club says, hey, I want to hire you now.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the day, they're hiring your skills, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, remember, an owner invested money in a property, and now he obviously wants to get producing some income. So he's going to bring somebody that has experience, has done it for a while, that can coach them and guide them instead of, blank, just going out there and spending money on radio or
so
all
basically
kinds of stuff.
take the image of a promoter, whatever you think it is, this guy on top of the table drinking free vodka.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. But if you think of it more of a marketer or
a business, kind of like just somebody who's going to bring in revenue.
I sat down with a friend of mine who works for iTunes Latin America. We were talking about the book, and he mentioned to me, after I explained everything that we do, he goes, okay, so you're a sales generator. What? I'm like, but I don't call myself that because it doesn't sound cool and fun. You know what I mean?
Like that.
But that's what I do pretty much. We make sure that venues are selling through using our own different tricks and techniques and skills and all that, PR, whatever it is. We are marketing. We are the advertiser.
Man. Keep it real. All your
tricks.
You
want the tricks? They're here in chapter 8.
Exactly.
So it is a good thing when that happens.
Cool.
But it only happens, right?
Oh we've done it for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that was actually our second step after just promoting before we went into owning venues.
I think the cool thing about that is that once you get hired, it's almost like, well, it could actually backfire because I know people that work great under stress. So if you get hired and that takes away the edge of the stress, and you might just be like, right? Could that happen?
To some.
Absolutely. I think if you're an entrepreneur, the reason you're an entrepreneur is because you welcome the risk because of the possibility of the reward, right?
Yes.
And so when you have something guaranteed, it doesn't matter how it goes, you're still going to get something guaranteed.
And it's so not about money.
So I did.
Exactly.
I ended up doing 3 things. I ended up doing some in-house stuff. I ended up doing Latin stuff, and the Latin stuff that I did was dependent on radio. So again, I was doing the same in-house stuff. And then also, because I had relationships with a lot of the ownership and I knew how to speak the lingo and stuff like that, a lot of the guys that are club owners now or, still in the club scene at high positions, I would get them clubs, and, I would find that venue for them and help them be able to get that spot the right way and coach them to get going.
Right.
So, it's interesting to see now. I hadn't been out in Miami really the last couple of years because I was traveling a lot. And, I go to the wharf and, the Guerras. I mean, Tony Guerra used to be my door guy.
Right.
His brother was one of the guys that used to help out with the club. And they built some monster things.
Nice.
You've got Mo in
South Beach,
part of Live
Beach.
and Story. I mean, it's just... It's awesome.
Cool, right?
Well, we
Because
started
you've
with
seen
progress.
Yes.
The club scene has exploded. To see people, that were promoters, were flyer guys, were door guys, and now they're owners. And they're raking the bucks. It's nice.
It is.
I don't know what our production crew is.
There's some dancing going on.
I don't know what they're
catching my
having
attention.
fun. You guys want to be over here?
Freddy,
fired up.
when
Fired
in
up.
this whole story do you go, okay, so now I'm ready to take it to this next, this different level outside of the
Marriage.
club's promotion and all that. So you go through the marriage part, you make that decision. You said 9-10 years. What made you decide, okay, so this is the area I'm going to go in, which is the network marketing part?
Like I mentioned, I was getting married. I needed to do something different.
Right.
Because of the style of life that we had, I wanted something that I could still have the same kind of lifestyle.
Okay.
Still the same type of freedom, right? Because it is freedom.
So freedom, lifestyle.
Freedom, lifestyle, and obviously the income
and keep
possibilities.
the income up.
And you know, at the end of the day, I mean, what were we doing in clubs, or what are we doing in clubs? I mean, we're providing value, we're serving, right? We're providing an atmosphere for people to escape reality and create a memory for, you know, that they'll be talking forever, right?
Right.
And so I was looking for something where I could serve people, where I could make an impact, where I could do something different. And I found it in network marketing. And like anything you do, you know, the first one didn't go as well as I expected.
Right. Just like that Boomerang Club.
When I came in, I you know, it's a people business. So I knew
break
half of
down,
Miami.
Can you break down what network marketing is for those who don't know?
Well, network marketing, I mean, every company obviously has a marketing arm that generates business, right?
Yep.
And traditional marketing is, you know, TV, advertising, you know, traditional means getting a celebrity or whatever. Network marketing is you gather a few loyal customers. A company, you know, allows you to become an independent distributor, gather a few loyal customers, and teach other people to do the same thing. And you know, through a network of people, you know, you're able to earn a large residual if you build a big customer base.
Because you charge people for that knowledge.
No, people are coming in, you know, to consume the product or service, whatever it is, because there's different type of companies.
Okay.
And as a result of them going for it, you know, you also get it's like a broker makes commission on override off all the realtors' sales, right? Mm-hmm. Same sort of scenario, right? Depending on the structure and stuff. But it's cool because, you know, it's number one, you need a positive environment. Because you know, you're not going to be able to talk to people if you're negative and you don't think something's possible. So you're able to create a positive environment. From the night scene, what I was able to bring in is, you know, I'm a fun, fun, exciting person, right? I create environment. And so as I built my sales teams, you know, I would do parties, I would do stuff, and everybody, whether they were part of my team or not, everybody wanted to be part of what we were doing because it was fun. You know, they just like, I don't know what they're doing, but I want to be part of that. So I transferred that, you know, and the people skills. You know, I think in the nightclub business, you're constantly talking to people, you're inviting people to come, you're telling people to help you out and bring you people. And there's a lot of skills that transfer over. For me, it was really, you know, I saw a possibility of creating a residual income where, you know, I could, you know, walk away for a little while and money will come in whether I worked or not, because I created a big enough base of loyal customers ordering every month and I was getting a residual. Nice. And so anyhow,
good for you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And you started traveling with this, right?
And so you start in Miami, and you know, I learned real quick. You know, like everything in life, you learn to expand. You know, I started in Miami. Miami's big. I knew everybody in Miami, and then I realized when a hurricane comes, things kind of stop. And I said, you know what? Next time a hurricane comes, it's not going to affect my business, so I'm going to expand.
Nice.
And
initiative.
Yeah, I started other markets, and you know, because the way I grew up in Miami, even though I've always spoken Spanish and all stuff, I targeted the Anglo type market. I just said, you know what? I speak Spanish fully. Let's go into the Latino market too. We started doing that too, and you know, our business took off all over the U.S., Canada, Europe.
What's the name of the business?
South America.
Is it a
well, right now I'm launching something new right now, but you know, freddymelero.com has, you know, you can see a lot of my videos.
Oh, cool.
Fire it up.
I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube. And
Fire it up. Is that like a slogan of yours?
I say it a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm very high energy.
Kind of like you and party people.
Yeah.
I'm very high energy and fun.
Cool.
So, with or without this.
Hey, I wonder.
Why do you think a lot of network marketers come to promoters? Basically,
Because they know people.
So it's more of a word of mouth.
Because at the end of the day, obviously you're fine. I mean, network marketing is really built, you know, with a few people that actually want to build it, and a lot of people that want to consume the product or service, right?
Right.
And so, you know, I think people talk to network to promoters because they have the people skills, they have people that follow them. Obviously, depending on, you know, the different levels of influence that they have.
Right.
So obviously, if they were to diversify, because I think diversification can be good as long as it's as long as you can manage it.
Right.
They can develop another income stream.
Right.
Because they're providing value to the people that they already service and know.
Right.
Through whatever vehicle it is.
So how long you been doing network marketing?
Almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years. Wow, that's great.
Because when I got into network marketing, I was still dabbling in the clubs.
So, how do you feel about nowadays that we're living in an era where everyone's getting on their phone and kind of like motivating? And how do you feel about that now that, you know, you've been doing this for 20 years? It sounds like you know what you're doing. It's not as easy as it sounds. There's steps to it. How do you feel about that?
You're one of the original influencers.
Yes, exactly. that now, technology has allowed us to be able to just get on our phone and title ourselves
And preach.
whatever.
I think it's beautiful. It's a double-edged sword, though, because as you can see, I think negativity is predominant in most people's thoughts because we live in a negative environment, and people have gone through a lot, and the news is constantly negative, right? But if you use the platform for something positive, which is what I choose to do, I'd say 95% of the time.
Cool.
You can definitely make a difference in someone's day. I mean, I could go through all my messages, whether it's on my fan page, on stuff, how people say, hey, you hit me between the eyes. Just one thing you said at the moment, I was looking for some confirmation or something.
Awesome.
So, everything in life, we're not immune to problems. There's an author of a book called The Traveler's Gift called Andy Andrews, one of my favorite ones. He says, crisis. You're either in crisis, coming out of crisis, or get ready, baby, it's coming. That's life. So in life, John Maxwell says it's not what happens to you. It's what you choose to do in spite of it. What happens to you is 10%. 90% is your attitude.
Oh my God! I think I was telling
Your
somebody.
attitude.
That's why I'm so happy. I'm always in crisis.
I was saying that to someone today. I was telling them, hey, listen, it's how you want to take it. It's how you want to take
Perfect
that
example.
situation.
For example, how many people do we know that have cancer and they're not moving from that bed? And how many people have we seen that they're like, they've lost like 80 pounds, but they're like they're excited.
Yeah, they're fired
Praise
up.
the Lord, they're excited.
really fired-
That's an
they're-
attitude.
Yeah.
And that other person could have that too, but they chose to go the other way, right? Yeah. For whatever the reason, right?
That's
I know it's a tough time, but your attitude, you control that.
Right.
You can't control the disease, but you can control the attitude.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting.
And by the way,
to see.
controlling the attitude doesn't feed into the disease.
Correct.
So
it
actually
takes the oxygen out.
Yeah. So there. Hey, fire it up!
How would you apply that to the nightlife?
Attitude.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have ups and downs. Like you mentioned. Nowadays, obviously, it's a different world, right?
Right.
It's a different world.
Yeah, can we have three more? Because this guy's
Chop.
talking too
Mr.
much.
Chop.
Finish up a little
Hey,
bit.
Mr. Chop House. Yo, Chop House, don't forget the Raw Food and Wine Festival this year. They're going to be amazing, all right? Get ready.
Let's go.
Was
All
that
right,
paid
fire it up.
commercial? Was that
It's gonna sell out. Get it now.
All right? Come get it. This year we have a beer garden. It's going to be crazy.
Nice.
Can't believe it. This
I'll take a bunch of people.
I'm out of here.
By the way, you didn't apologize for last week
Oh.
and leaving after 10 minutes and leaving me
man,
alone.
I'm
doing
sorry, party people. I'm sorry that I left, but it's just that. All right, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I took a little sip of that tequila, Revolucion, and I was
And it revolutionized your
I was
belly.
out of there. I went to go get all their categories: the silver, the gold, the platinum,
There you
the
go.
bronze.
It was
and
good. It was awesome, by the way. It was
good. I
awesome.
had to
It was
sell.
really
So
good.
Sorry, I didn't make it back.
Yeah.
Man. I got stuck
So Julio,
in traffic.
we've been in the club
This
scene
world.
pretty much, same times.
Right.
What would you say has changed?
Oh, man. And thank you
From the
for
inside.
returning the interview.
Find out, baby. Find out.
I interview a lot of people.
Oh, I mean, I could definitely
Thank
sit
you.
down and talk about so many things that have changed, but
So
the-
a new promoter coming in today.
yeah,
How
a
would
new promoter coming in today. They
wanted to do what we've done.
it really depends on like where
What
they
they're
are
very
in
popular.
their life.
He's a
What if
professor.
they're very popular?
Yeah, I
He
mean,
has
I,
apprentices, young
oh
guys.
no, yeah. I mean,
But they're very
I'm-
popular. They pull a lot of people.
No, not really. I mean, it's
Oh.
it's different
Chill,
nowadays
nah,
because
let's-
there's a lot more competition. Number one, I mean, at least in cities like Miami, it could be different in every.
Our
in every
methods of communication are totally
Oh,
different.
that's. I mean,
Because we used to
they
put
depend
flyers
on
in
this.
cars.
They
We used to
depend
put
on
flyers outside of colleges and whatever.
Hey, listen,
and
I'm
I had a mailing
promoting-
list,
I'm
and we would do
promoting
this.
the Raw Food and Wine,
Yeah.
and I'm giving out flyers. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm dancing. I'm.
You know what?
Everything,
I
man.
Which,
I
by
got
the way-
flyers from your mother-in-law at the Publix on
Imagine.
58th.
Oh, look
'Cause she
at that.
told me,
How my mother-in-law
my
loves
son-in-law.
you.
Shout out to
Marina,
Nati's
she passed
mom.
me
I love
Was she
you.
passing your flyers?
I don't know,
last
but
week?
if
Yeah.
she probably
mentioned
was.
it,
She
yes.
probably was. She was like, "Ven out you that yo, you
Yeah.
see." I love that, man. Thank you, Neela. I love you.
Yeah. By the way, my dad's my best flyer guy ever.
You see, I'm telling you, man. And it's like that, right? You gotta get
Hey,
everybody
with
involved.
you were mentioning about the phone and the new
That's a
ways of
beautiful
communicating
thing.
and all that, and I one of the
Because
things
I was
Neela
an
love.
email had just started when I stopped.
Thank
Right.
you.
So there was no text. Yeah.
oh for sure.
miss you.
And
We're
nowadays,
we still have beepers.
you think
beepers, man.
do you think I've been
911.
able do you think I've been able to convince
to hell.
one
I love
promoter of making phone calls actual
that's tough.
phone calls or going visit somebody and actually getting them. Like I remember, like for example, I used to go to a mall and I would be like
Dayland.
through store,
Dayland, up and down.
and talking to people. And
Hey,
you
isn't
know,
it crazy
they don't
how
do
like
that.
people were texting back in the days with the beepers? Like,
Oh
go to
yeah,
hell,
oh
911.
yeah, all the codes.
423, 823.
I had the full
123,
page,
43.
all
All the
bent
codes
in my
and
back
how to,
pocket, so
like,
that I would get a code. I would just read what does it mean. 1, 2, 3, I miss you.
I actually
1, 2,
put
3, I love
a
you.
old beeper, one of the old Bravos, one of the last ones that most people had.
Yeah.
I put it on Facebook, and
That's how old we are.
Some guy said,
Yeah.
I
No, I
think
don't know
my-
what you guys
I
are
think
talking
I saw
about,
my
man.
parents have one of those. I was like,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Dude.
crazy.
Rotary
Beepers, I've never heard
phones
of.
and all that. No,
Me
neither, me
I
neither.
actually used to hang with a bag of quarters, so that in the car,
phone calls.
so that if I got a beep, I would stop, call back.
Man,
Because there
Did
was
you
no
ever have a
cell phone
hotline
back
that people would call and hear information?
Technology,
Yes.
man.
I had that too.
technology.
then. Yeah, we had the hotline.
We had the hotline.
We had-
I used to be
Oh,
called
you had
Break.
a hotline?
Things have changed,
My first company was
believe
called
me.
Break of Dawn Productions.
These
You
people
call
have
you
it on.
reach Break of Dawn Productions this Thursday night. We're doing a
Oh,
party.
I love
Ladies free before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I think I remember
Don't
the
miss it.
voice. I remember the
There was
voice.
a classic.
You just reached.
Man, man, that's a good voice.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember, damn, in New York, there was a very famous promoter. He used to be a promoter from back in Studio
Webster's
50.
Hall.
No, yeah, he used to promote Webster Hall and everything, but he used to be a promoter in Studio 54.
Imagine.
Wow.
Imagine. And he used
Hey,
to.
hey,
and,
with
and,
a
and he, was,
yayo.
he was a character, super character guy. Beer Jones, his name was. Beer
Wow.
Jones. Suited guy. He would give you his card. And I'm telling you, if you got his card,
Well, most club people
Anywhere
have been
you went.
personalities,
Yeah.
right? Most
Any-
door people are
Oh
personalities.
yeah, for sure.
Oh no, but
They're
this guy
unique,
had-
like different.
Oh yeah, this guy wouldn't speak. He wouldn't talk. He would just always be in a suit, very weird looking, and he would just come up to you and just say, "Here," and people would be like, "Yo, did you just get a card from Beer Jones?" And if you got that card, anywhere you went and you mentioned his name, but I'm talking about like the Tunnel, Webster
Wow.
Hall, Limelight, Palladium.
Palladium.
You know, those places, they would treat you, they would give you a bottle of champagne, they would, and it was that old school relationship he had.
Dude, I'm a strong
Rest
believer
in peace,
of the
man.
old
Beer
school
Jones.
ways,
I
and
hope-
I do think that if people bring
Foundational.
back,
They're
I wish
foundational.
Yeah.
we would have been able to interview him. That would have been awesome.
yeah, I mean, but if we're able, or the new generation's able to bring a lot of that back, go back to basics. I am, I'm positive. Yes, do apply the whole social media thing, and text your people.
You know
if
what?
you want to.
Yo,
But
stay tuned for the New York episode. We're going out to New York
gonna
and
find this guy.
interviewing.
Invite me. I'll go with you guys.
Right? Hey, all of you guys, you're all invited. You're all welcome to.
Julio, what do you say? Because I know, obviously, with the book and everything, I mean, you're trying to inspire people to get in and go
Quit
for
college. So not
it.
go to
And
college.
I think not just
sure.
Don't go to
college.
college, man. Just Nightlife Entrepreneur. You're done.
It happened to me. I went to college and I started
Yeah.
making a lot of money. I was like, why do I need to go to college?
If you would have had the Nightlife Entrepreneur book, you would have.
So
had to think about it.
and right now I tell people you want to find a mentor.
yes,
That's
List-
our tip.
Listen and apply.
Listen to the
Right.
tips.
And if something doesn't work, ask questions, but keep trying until,
Okay.
right?
right.
Until what?
Until you figure it out.
Until it happens.
Until it
Okay.
happens.
There
and
you
it
go.
happens for everyone at a different stage because
Right.
all of us are not at the same level, but we can be and beyond, right?
Right.
But we don't start at the same level. So there's things you gotta there's skill sets that you gotta pick up. There's things, personalities you gotta work on.
But if you're passionate about it, keep going.
Hey,
and if
right-
you're
right
around
now-
the right environment, you kind of like you start understanding.
Hey,
There's a
Right now, I have
that
some projects-
mentor
right now I have
thing-
some
that mentor
projects.
thing is
Oh,
it's everything.
It's a must.
right.
It's been the key to my success.
I don't
And not
think you
only-
can make it
and
without.
you
Not only on
and you can
Nightlife
fast forward.
Entrepreneur, but on everything.
No, on anything you do in life.
Let me ask
no
you a question.
mentor, forget about it.
Why would you want to have why would you have to go through experiences unnecessarily if you can learn from somebody else's mistakes?
Mistakes.
Why make mistakes
from the
if you can learn
mistakes.
from other people's
Learn from the
mistakes?
It's not about the
mistakes.
good shit they've done.
and
It's about the
learn from
mistakes.
the good
compress
things
time
and
from
fun.
5 years to maybe 5 months or a year because you learn from somebody else's mistakes. things that would have taken you 3 to 5 years to recover.
For $14.99.
You know, so
For a limited
he
time.
plugged it right in. He was like, for $14.99, all those mistakes can be avoided right here.
No, I mean,
And you asked me what kept you going when you failed. I mean, what do you want in life? What's your dream? You know, no matter what endeavor it is, specifically in this, I wanted to have a club with 3,000, 4,000 people. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be have that party. So I knew eventually if I built it, it would come. I didn't know when. It happened a little bit sooner than I thought, within 2 years. But I'll tell you, 2 years prior, I was not doing well. And one thing led to another, and because I was moving forward, the right people, the right situations, everything all of a sudden, because there's something about when you just keep going, that people just want to be a part of that person that's moving forward. They want to help that person moving forward. I think Chris Rock, I shared a memo the other day that said, you know, when I used to break down, nobody would stop for me. But when they saw me pushing the car, everybody would pull aside and push with me. And so as you move forward in anything in life, specifically in the nightclubs, you know, as people see you out there every night passing out flyers,
That was deep, and
as people see you every night passing out flyers, as people see you every night, you know, moving forward and trying to progress and trying to go for it, people want to see you win because they see you struggle and they say, man, I want to help that person out. And I'll tell you, I wasn't the best promoter. I probably wasn't. I probably didn't do things correctly like everybody should have, but I kept moving forward. I failed and I kept going and I kept going and I kept going and I kept going and I kept going, and that's why I firmly believe I succeeded and I attracted the right people.
Right. So
Another mosquito.
all right, so
Here we are.
like
We're
I
back.
said,
Sorry, man.
with your guys' energy, you know, I don't know where mine is, but
No, it's here. It's here.
at the end of every episode, we do a little segment called the Night Father.
Okay.
You're a parent. You mentioned, you know, you started a family.
I gotta show you a video from this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
crazy.
Talk
shit.
about it.
You
Fire
have
it
how
up.
many kids?
3
Three
Okay.
kids.
See?
that I know of. Yeah.
Four.
So that's 10 right here
Wow.
amongst the three of us.
So my daughter is a sophomore. My son just started in Columbus, freshman.
Right.
That's the video I want to show you. And the other one's in 5th grade, son too.
He's following your footsteps. Is that what you're trying to say?
I wasn't that advanced.
Ooh,
He's
shout
about
out
3
to
years
the
ahead of
kids.
me.
That's,
10
that's
kids.
for
Shout out
that's for
to all
another
of them.
show.
We love them.
I guess he saw my videos on
Man,
YouTube.
my
I don't
kids,
know.
I can't stop
That's for another show.
thinking about
So,
them. I love them.
So yeah, I mean, and,
No
and
matter
it's
how they get.
pretty much the same thing we discuss every time, and it's being able to be a parent in the nightlife. And as a matter of fact, you
And
go
the
into
day
something
life.
different, which is network marketing. And I would love to know between the two things, because you talk about, you know, flying out of town. You talk about, you know, you're always busy. I know that you're
Yeah.
always busy. You keep yourself busy.
So
a lot.
now, exactly, how do you?
From the times that you were, you know, in the nightlife
Mm-hmm.
to what you're doing now, is there a huge difference in being able to be a parent, being there, whatnot, or
How do you balance
or
it?
do you think that it's just really much, you know,
And
up
it's
to you?
life.
But at the moment I'm balancing it right now. There was a period in time where I was literally in a plane like 20 some nights out of a month. You know, I went from nothing to like, I got into network marketing. I wasn't doing well. I finally earned 6 figures, then got into multiple 6 figures, then 7 figures, and multiple 7 figures, and that required me to expand.
Do the math. Do the math.
Yeah.
That required me to expand, right? And you know, when you're momentum, you know, and somebody tells you, I know somebody in San Diego that knows half the world, you're like, okay, put me on the phone with them, and you know, if things, I'm there tomorrow.
Yeah, hell
and
yeah.
then that person knows somebody in Boston,
go
and you
get
go
it.
there, and then somebody
Gotta
knows in
go get
Montreal, and then you go in España.
Go
and
get
then-
it, go get
and
it.
Bogota, you know,
Right.
and so you go. Especially when you're driven and you aspire for more. I mean,
Right.
you know, your mind expands. You know, success
Right.
breeds success, and you know, when you don't think when you don't think it's possible to get to here. And you get there, you're like, that wasn't bad. I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can
you
do
didn't
this.
like to talk to people.
It's kind of like
you didn't like to talk
it's
to
kind
people
of like
on stage.
the Raw Food and Wine Festival, you know.
the Raw Food and Wine
If you
Festival.
guys sell out
November 10th and 11th.
Yeah.
way before, and nobody can come in, and you see people wanting to get in, you're like, maybe we should do a bigger venue,
Yes.
right? And all of a sudden, that one gets full. Now you're thinking, this is not good. Let's move it over there.
No, let's
so-
take over the whole city of Doral.
Yeah, and you want
What I'm
that.
talking about.
And that's progress, and you want that, like we've talked about, and that's what you want. So, you know, I can tell you. I mean, for me right now, you know, fortunately, I mean, this is my office,
Right.
you know, and it should be most nightclub promoters' office right now too.
Right. Right.
This is my office, and you know, I'm able to do everything virtually right now,
Right.
where I don't have to travel as much. I like to travel,
Right.
but it's not necessary for business, not necessary to sacrifice certain things that maybe I did before because technology wasn't as advanced.
And with your kids, how do they how do you manage the whole traveling, kids?
Well, they live with their at
Happy
the moment. They
wife,
live with their
happy
mom.
life. Okay.
They live with their mom. So I, when I'm in Miami, I pick them up for school. Try to
Okay.
whatever. Today I picked up all three. I try to take them out. I try to do stuff. I
Fire
try
them
to,
up.
I try to fire them up. They don't like that. If you guys watch my videos, I'm singing in the car all fired up, and they're like, "Dad!"
Okay, all right.
When they were little, it wasn't like that because I have videos where they jump with me and they're fired up and all that stuff. But
How would you feel if one of them decided to go into the nightlife business?
I have no problem. I'd coach them. I'd tell them what to stay away from because I fortunately, even though I had fun with beverages that got you excited, I didn't get into the other stuff.
Right.
And,
Beverage, and we could say
beverage.
the ladies was part of our problems at some
Amen.
point.
Amen.
You know.
And
Praise the Lord.
but fortunately, maybe
problems
it has
to
to do
have.
with my foundation, my parents. My mom was very strict, and she didn't even want me to drink and stuff like that. But
drink.
but she
Don't
was
drink and
very
drive.
very on me, and I think I understood the consequences, and I didn't want to get involved in that. So fortunately, I have a very addictive personality. When I like something, I do it. Fortunately, I didn't go that route.
Good.
And
Hey, listen.
So I would coach them on that.
We
Because-
talk about the fact that everyone who's been successful in the nightlife business
Oh, yes.
has been able to be successful.
Stay away.
Well, the
because
downfall not only in
they
nightclubs
don't-
or anything is that too.
They don't, they don't fall into
Yeah.
the habits. So that's important because
I
then
stayed
now
away
you
from
just
it.
go down.
When I stopped doing clubs is when ecstasy became popular.
Oh wow.
So I missed that phase. I mean, there was other things that were strong too, and
Right.
still are strong today. But that's when that phase started.
And you were on
unfortunately,
South Beach, so it was a little stronger probably
It was
than
everywhere.
Crazy.
what we had
It was
on the
everywhere.
other side of the bridge. You know.
It hadn't crossed over.
Yeah, for us. I mean, no. Like,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been doing this for 20-something years, and I've seen shit probably twice. You know, that's
That's
it. In this many years, so it's for me. We've been very blessed to have the right crowd.
But
all
everything's
that.
out there. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's what you choose to or allow or not, and
Right.
that has to do a lot with your upbringing and really your values and whatever. And so you're asking me, what would I tell my kids? Stay away from that.
Right.
Stay away from
Yeah.
it because everybody thinks you can do it once, but the chances are you're going to continue.
Right.
And unfortunately, it leads to bad decisions.
Bad
And-
decisions.
And, and hopefully, it doesn't lead to,
Right. Agree.
Yes.
100%. Freddie, thank you so
Man,
much
Freddie,
for being
appreciate
here
you
with
guys.
us, man. This,
Thank you-
this
thank you
went,
so much.
went
Thank you, man.
extremely fast.
I'm
Yo,
number
yeah.
one. I'm
Good.
honored and grateful that,
Fired
that
up.
you chose to interview me, and I appreciate your friendship.
Yes, sir.
I want nothing but success for you, and I know when this comes out, I'm gonna share it through all my social media.
Definitely.
Make sure everybody all over the world sees this.
Yeah.
That's the
You
freaking
guys
book.
better be watching.
Listen
this.
to the other
Hey,
podcast
come
because they
to
got
the
some amazing
festival. Let them
podcasts.
know.
Yes.
They come to the festival. You got to come to the Raizuela eventually, and
Venezuela,
go to.
the Raw Food and Wine Festival.
Go to this festival.
He's gonna be there. He's gonna be.
I'm just flexing,
He's
fired
gonna
up.
be firing up the VIP.
There you go.
Absolutely.
These guys have been drinking for 2 hours before we started.
come
No,
on.
just kidding. Just kidding.
Here we go.
Hey, remember, The Nightlife Entrepreneur on Instagram and LMG Miami, where you can find our parties.
FreddyMelero.com is my blog, but at Freddy Melero for Instagram, for all that, you'll see. And if you want to get inspired and take some action, you'll definitely get that going.
Follow me at Ico Taps Beer and also at the Raw Food and Wine Festival. Remember, tickets are in sales right now. Go to Eventbrite. Get it.
Book on Amazon and the website. What website? Nightlifeentrepreneurs.com/podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube,
website, man.
you name it.
I love it.
See you next week.
Boom.